Previously on Fate and the Fablemaidens. There is also a mural. It depicts 3 figures. 2 of them are holding each other close and standing off to the side, but the other is reclining across what looks to be a dark cloud that's pouring rain.
Rainbows! Peace and rain!
Let's Roy G. Bivet.
The violet one rises all the way up so that the top is in line with the ledge that the door is on. On the side wall, you see more murals. You see the same 3 figures as you did in the room before, but instead, the one that was reclining on the cloud has joined one of the other figures and are off to the side holding hands. And one of them that seems to be a male figure prominently stands overlooking this vast valley, and his hair is whipping around his face, and pillars of stone rise up in front of him. Across the room is this kind of large pit, and there's this long cable strung across the top of the room. It looks like there's some sort of boxy thing hanging from it. You get kind of out over the pit. From it shoots this huge gust of wind, and the whole thing rocks as the wind blows at it. Wynni, you slip out of this rope rig that Merryweather has tied around the T. Wynni loses her grip and falls.
No!
There's danger in the desert, like krakens in the sand, but our adventurers, unfettered, continue on as planned. Their newfound peace, though, may end quite soon as they find themselves lost in a temple of rooms. This is Fate and the Fablemaidens. Wynni,
Yes.
you're falling.
Yeah, I am.
You feel the air tightening around you and squeezing the wind out of your lungs, and it's hard to gulp in another breath, it's hard to scream, and the falling is choking you. And because you can't breathe, the time that you're falling in the air feels so painfully long, especially since you know what's waiting at the end of it.
Do I still have my lantern with me? Or do you think I would have dropped it? Or would I have been paralyzed with fear, so I held tighter?
That's a good question. I think if you had the lantern in your hand, it may have explained why you had a hard time holding on.
Yeah.
I think if you had it in your hand, you probably still do.
I'm going to briefly look down. Do I see anything approaching, like, a ground?
So you try and turn your head. I'm imagining you're falling, like, the way you slipped out of this thing was kind of feet first. So you ended up kind of falling backwards. You try and, like, turn your head. Your hair is whipping around your face, and you peek out the corner of your eye. And it's hard to see because as the walls around you are illuminated by this light that's flickering as the air goes against it and you continue falling, you do kind of get the sense that you're approaching the ground.
How long have I been falling?
Very hard for you to tell.
Because of the not breathing thing.
Right. It feels long. It has not been long.
Okay, because I'm debating on what spell to use to save my hide here. I could use Animate Rope, because I've talked up a big storm about that one.
True.
I was really invested in that last week. Oh, I kept reading. I've been reading the Animate Rope, and it says that it can only enwrap an object or creature within a foot of it. So, no, it would not have helped us last week, and no, it will not help me now. I'm going to guess that I've fallen more than a foot. So.
Yeah. I think so.
So I cast Featherfall, much to my DM's chagrin.
I didn't. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm mad. It's fine.
So I cast Featherfall, which means I fall slowly.
Well, darn it.
Instantly.
Bummer. I was so hoping for quick and painless.
I take no damage when I land.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So, Twyddle, Merryweather.
Merryweather takes her rope and throws it over the cable, and then ties a knot, her like other rope. And then she takes the end of that rope and the end of the rope that is twisted around the 2 metal bars, and ties a double fisherman knot, which is a knot that securely ties 2 ropes together.
Very good. Do you have that
Very
memorized, or? Twyddle, are you just like swinging there and watching this happen?
Well, I'm also turning animate red as this is happening.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm just like, I'm not mad at anyone, but I'm mad at the situation.
Yeah.
Because I really just came to get some money, and so we could be on our merry way.
Oh, no.
And that's not what's happening right now.
Would it be safe to say that you're like going into a rage?
I think that the possibility is definitely there.
Okay. Because I think that's a great story thing to point out, that this is
This is a barbarian that we're dealing with.
a bit of a triggering situation
Yep,
for you.
so I think that I like to snap my fingers to say we have entered rage.
Okay.
Merryweather unwraps the rope and takes the other end of it
Uh-huh.
and wraps it around herself
Okay.
with another type of knot.
What kind
that
of knot?
she definitely knows the term for.
The anticipation.
This knot called the Palomar knot, which is a simple knot for attaching a line to a hook.
Oh.
I am the hook.
Oh.
Or the bowline knot. There seems to be some debate about which one is actually the strongest knot.
Is this like a
Oh.
Reddit debate?
Oh, here we go. We have debate going on.
Yeah, our podcast has turned into learning about knots with Becca.
Hey, I have people who would love this.
No, with Merryweather, who is an accomplished sailor.
This is the knot zone.
What?
The knot zone.
This is not the knot zone.
Not the knot
Fate
zone.
and a bunch of knots.
Yeah, so after I tie a bunch of knots very quickly because I'm so practiced at tying knots and know how to do it, I then grab the rope, and I don't just like jump, like I'm not bungee jumping in, but I'm grabbing the rope and like going down it.
Okay, so are you like sliding down it kind of thing?
No, because then I'd get rope burn.
Well, that is very cautious and
It's
smart.
very
of you.
logical in this situation.
Yes. So are you going hand over hand then? Or hand under hand?
Yes,
To
I
go
would
down,
like
I
to,
guess?
Yes, I suppose.
Okay. Twyddle, she starts to, you're dangling from the end of your rope, so you kind of watch as she passes you slowly.
Now that I've entered barbarian rage, I'm going to take out my bear trap,
Okay.
and I'm going to open it.
Okay.
And I forgot, how much chain do I have on it? It's not that much. It's like 30 feet?
I think it's 20
Is
feet.
it 20 feet?
Of chain.
Okay. I'm going to use it to cut the rope I'm currently tied to.
Okay.
And then as like I fall from that, I would like to grab onto Becca's rope.
My rope? You mean Merryweather's rope?
I would like to grab onto Merryweather's rope.
This is going to take a little bit of time to saw through the rope that you have with the bear trap.
I want to close it on the rope.
Yeah, I think there's still going to be like a little bit, because it's more of a clamp than a blade, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's brand new. I don't know.
You clamp it onto the rope and kind of have to like saw the rope back and forth for a second for it to break. But when it does, and it goes fast for, because you're mad. And I mean, you're sawing this rope real
Yes,
fast.
I would agree with this.
And it snaps. And you begin to fall. You're going to have to roll me a dexterity saving throw in order to grab onto Becca's rope.
Okay.
I mean, Merryweather's rope.
Can I ask a question? DM, Fate.
Yes.
What are Mary and what's his name?
I was just about to ask
That is a very good question.
Mary and Howard? Is it Howard or Keb?
This is Keb.
Keb. It's Keb.
What are Mary and Keb doing right now?
Yeah, okay. I was just thinking about that too. So, Keb you can hear him above you. He's kind of leaning over the edge going, oh, God, oh.
What a buffoon.
Like every time you do something, and then Mary is sitting there and like, I cannot believe this is happening. We are never getting out of here. I don't know.
They're so unfazed by the fact that someone just fell to their death.
Someone is falling. She's real upset about it, but like in an internal way, and Keb is freaking out, but not with words, because I don't think he has them right now.
I look up at them and shout, "Have a little compassion!"
And Mary says, sorry for your loss.
Wow, Mary. What a tool.
We could just leave you there.
No halfling bond, no halfling camaraderie. Like, what is this? Who does she? If I were there,
If you were
man,
there.
I would sing a song for her about the true meaning of halfling family.
I'm sure she would be so thrilled by that.
I'm sure she'd hate it, and I would love that she hated it.
Renee,
Yes.
I have-
What did you roll?
I have 2 things to say about what I rolled.
Okay.
And they're very important. So number 1, I did not do well.
Okay.
I rolled a 7, but I would like to say that I am throwing myself with such ferocity that I like to think I would hit the wall.
Okay. Hold on. Give me a second. The thing is, I think because of how you were sawing this rope, that you'd be falling pretty straight. So, I don't know if I can give you the wall.
I don't like the word sawing because it implies that I'm just holding it and rubbing the rope against it, my bear trap, and I am literally opening it and closing it super
Yeah.
fast.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
That's how I'm cutting it.
You're like bear trap munching on
Attacking.
this rope. Yeah, it's like a
Yes.
chomp.
It's a munch. It is a
Yeah.
chomp. It is a munch. Those are the
what
correct
are those called
words.
in Mario? The chomp? Are they called chomp chomps?
That's pretty much what I was doing to this rope. I'm very strong. I'm in rage right now. So
Okay,
that's
so
what I was doing.
instead of sawing at it,
But keep in mind, I can't really be too straight because I am on a rope, so I have to be swaying somewhat while I'm opening and closing this thing.
I like
think-
how you're making a case.
I told you I had important things.
no, I appreciate the case because it does dictate how things are going to go, and if you have creative ways out of this, I'm very interested in hearing those. I'm concerned that you're not swinging back and forth while you're chomping with your bear trap, and so when you chomp, I think you're still gonna fall because I think you're using all of your strength to get through the rope, and you're not like swinging back and forth and then launching yourself.
Okay,
you know
that seems fair. Rule number 1 for all newbies: don't argue with the DM too much.
I think realistically it's not gonna work past that. Well, as realistic as we get in this game. Like, okay, so you are now falling too.
But I'm in rage about it. Real mad.
Real mad.
Yeah, Merryweather, do you do anything?
No, Twyddle!
I have another thought.
Okay.
My other thought is my bear trap is open. I would like to take it by the chain and swing it over my head like a helicopter as I'm falling.
To try to fly?
Oh my god. Okay.
Like one of those hats that
A
have
little
like
bit.
the little fan on
I don't
them.
know if it'll do any
But
good,
a
but I
bear
like
trap.
the imagery of it, and it's a choice I'm making.
Okay.
I was inspired by the airship, and I just want that. to be
Becca, are you doing anything?
Merryweather sees Twyddle fall into the dark depths, and she just kind of stops. She stops going hand over hand down and just kind of is like in shock, looking down, and just like, no, 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 no.
Aww.
What am I supposed?
Aw.
My friends, they're just. What do I? And then she looks up at the 2 other people that are at Mary and Keb that are up there, and she goes, I don't. It must be too late for them. But I can still try to save Keb and Mary. And then she crawls back up the rope onto the little platform thing.
Okay. And Keb is like blubbering at this point. He's like, and Mary's just kind of like sitting there like stunned at this point. And Twyddle,
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to roll me for strength with your rage
Oh.
advantage.
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for. This is the moment.
You're gonna have to roll really well to pull this off, and
Well,
I'm
that-
just saying that
the
up front.
pressure. My dice started trembling when you said that. I don't appreciate that.
I'm so sorry, just had to be honest up front.
That'll be a 22.
Dang.
Okay,
Wow.
what was your natural roll?
16.
And that's with the advantage.
Yes.
We're gonna say you start swinging your bear trap, and by some miracle of barbarianism, and weird player creativity. In this magical world where sometimes weird things happen, you start helicoptering to the ground.
I'm swinging it that hard.
If you had gotten anything less than that, I don't think this would have been possible. But you know what? I gotta swallow my pride and let you do the weird thing because that was a good roll. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. And feel free to not answer this because you're the DM.
Okay.
Was that a real thing? Or did you just decide to be gracious and not have her die?
No, I literally set 20 as the DC. Like, she would have to get a 20.
Wait, no. I mean, was this something where in this weird falling thing,
Oh.
this was like already preconceived that there would be some weird magical ways to stop the dying from falling?
Oh.
Or did you,
No.
as a nice DM, decide that you weren't going to kill everyone?
In the 6th episode of this podcast? No. Okay. So, I mean, I didn't know what to expect here. There were a lot of things up in the air, including Wynni.
Woohoo!
And
Including Wynni what? Oh, being
you
in
were-
the air.
you were up in the air.
Well, I was
Down
down,
in
She
the
was
in the
pit.
down
air.
in the
I was
pit.
down.
I was
I'm sorry. There were a
falling.
lot of things down in the air, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I was not expecting Twyddle to fall too, but I would have. If it had been anything less than a 20, she would have died.
Dang.
Or at least got unconscious, right?
I'm pretty
Drill help.
sure at the height she's falling from,
Dang.
it's gonna be at least double her HP currently.
Yay!
Our DM was gonna kill us.
I mean,
Dang.
No, she wasn't. She would have figured out some other way.
I don't know.
We have art that we worked very hard to
All
get.
about the branding.
that is true. We did.
I would have stopped the podcast and been like, Renee.
Yeah, there might have been something around it. Like there might have been something at the bottom that you don't know about, but that's hard to say at this point.
I'll find out soon.
Twyddle, you start helicoptering down, and I'm going to rule this has a similar effect to Featherfall of sorts. So it's gonna, be as long as you keep your strength up. We'll have you roll for Constitution in just a second to see how you're doing. But Merryweather, you make it back up to the top of the rope and where you kind of left the metal frame. It's probably about 20 feet from the ledge where Keb and Mary are waiting and peering down. And Keb just looks up at you and he's actually crying. He just says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is all our fault. If we hadn't gotten stuck here, you wouldn't have lost your friends. And we just came down here because we couldn't find Riley the other day. I mean, sorry, Dr. Rhett. You know her as Dr. Rhett. And if we hadn't been here, you wouldn't have died. They wouldn't have died.
I would like at this moment to let out a noise that is similar to the hums that Wynni was making earlier that I was mimicking.
Are you humming really loud?
I'm combining it with like a tribal type yell, but like to that tune,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Since I'm
Okay.
falling slowly enough, like I don't feel like I can't catch my breath.
What languages do you speak?
Do you want me to list them?
Sure.
I speak Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, and Primordial.
Okay, let's say that because of the primordial, a lot of the traditional songs in the Twyddle clan, the Twyddle tribe,
Yes.
were based in primordial sounds, which can be somewhat guttural and unique. They're very strange because this is the elemental language, which does make this so much more interesting. You are using primordial sounds mixed with the humming. I'm going to say primordial phrases.
Ooh, yes.
Mixed with the sounds of Wynni's humming. Is there a particular song, let's say that, you know this is something where these songs were used at landmark points throughout your life. Is there a particular go-to song you're going for?
Like the first time I climbed a tree, I think that is like a rite of passage in our tribe.
Okay.
Considering we didn't really
Perfect.
raise ourselves initially. So,
Okay.
probably like a tree climbing song.
Okay, so when you raise yourself to the top of this tall tree, the The whole tribe is there, and it's a very impactful and emotional kind of moment, a kind of coming of age moment, and an acceptance into the tribe, since you all come from drastically different backgrounds and different families. And you tie some of these words in.
So Merryweather's sitting there as Twyddle's helicoptering down, and she says, "I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to make this go. I don't have anything to make work. And my friends, but I have to try. I have to." And then she hears the song. I knew they didn't die. And then she goes and she just kind of oh wait, she's wearing gloves.
Yes.
I totally forgot that I have that part. She just grabs the rope and she just jumps down.
Okay.
Aww.
My friends are singing to me.
And Kep says, "Oh, okay." And you jump down. Great. So, Sam.
I do want it to be said. I've thought about it, and I think that she chose that song also at this moment because you can fall out of a tree. So falling is symbolic in this moment.
Okay, yeah, I like that. As Twyddle starts speaking in primordial, something starts to happen.
Okay.
There is a glow that begins to shine from the bottom of the pit.
Oh.
And in this glow now, you can see Wynni below you. And if you look up, you could see Merryweather above you, leaping down with this rope. You watch Wynni disappear.
Ah,
Wynni,
yes?
you've cast your spell. It catches you in the air and you feel safe. You feel your cloak start to settle around you where before it had been whipping back and forth in the air. You feel the first breath of air fill your already burning lungs, and you feel relief.
Oh, thank God I'm dead.
I mean, if you want to, sure, go for it. You hear this chant song, and you kind of recognize the tune from what you were humming earlier. And as you listen to it, a bright light sears across your vision, and suddenly you don't feel anything anymore.
You are dead.
Definitely dead. It was fun while it lasted. Life.
What is your impulse to the sudden lack of feeling?
Like me?
Yes.
That I'm in like a suspension chamber. Like I'm like.
Well, what is Wynni's reaction? I'm sorry. What is Wynni's reaction to?
She's dead.
Okay.
And she's never been a religious halfling. It's never been her thing, but now she figures, well, I guess I'll find out.
Okay. Does she close her eyes? Does she try and speak? Because she still knows she's there, but she just doesn't feel.
She looks around. She doesn't close her eyes. She looks around.
Wynni looks around, and as this light begins to fade, she sees this man sitting cross-legged on the ground and kind of leaning on his hand. His elbow is propped up on his knee, and he's leaning on his hand. And he says, "You weren't supposed to almost die, but that was a very, very clever way around it. Props to you, little bard."
Thank you, mister.
Elowyn Took.
Whoa. Yeah, that's my name.
Hey y'all, it's Fate, and this is crazy, but I have no real loose threads for this week, so I have a few shout-outs instead. Laura and I just got back from an incredible weekend in Dallas, enjoying some good McElroy shows. We saw both The Adventure Zone and My Brother, and Me, and don't get me wrong, they were amazing. But we had an amazing time for so many more reasons than just the McElroys. While we were there, we got to meet and hang out with some new friends from Bombarded and Advantage, both Texas-based D&D actual play podcasts that tell great stories and are genuinely great people. We're looking forward to catching up on both of their shows, and we recommend y'all go check them out. Also, we met Lauren, who knew who we were, even though we'd never met her before. She was a fan? And that was wild. Hi, Lauren! It was such a great experience, and we hope to meet more of our listeners soon because of it. Speaking of, if you enjoy the show, we'd love for you to share it with your friends. We don't pay for advertising, so spreading the word spreads the love and means a lot to us. Ratings, reviews, and downloads on iTunes are a huge way to support the podcast. And if you'd like to support us in a tangible way, you can check out patreon.com/fateFMcast to give $1 or more a month for cool reward tiers. Also, you can follow us on Twitter. We're on that, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram, all at fateFMcast, and you can find us on our website at fatefmcast.com. As always, thanks to JP Diavando for writing our theme song, Fate and Fable. And I am way too wordy, so I'll let you get back to those good Fablemaidens now. Suffice to say, Elwyn, you've been quite impressive today, and I wasn't expecting to hear one of my languages spoken here today. I wasn't expecting a great many things, and if I'm not mistaken, we may only have a few moments before we're joined by your friends.
Wait, what language?
Ah, the language of the elements.
What? Wait, my friends are coming?
Your friends are both very foolhardy and very determined and very clever all at the same time, and I can't say that I see that every day. It's refreshing.
Who are you?
My name is Midaris.
Midaris, are you a god?
Sure, many may know me as such. You may know me from the murals upstairs.
I so called it.
You're the man on the cloud with the sadness?
And he, kind of smiles, does a little, do you recognize me now kind of face.
No.
Oh.
What's the end of the story?
That's okay. What story?
The
My
story upstairs on the murals. I didn't get to finish it before I died.
Elwyn, you're not dead. You're in the celestial plane.
What?
Yes.
What? Wow.
This is where my family and I live. You may call them gods or goddesses or whatever term you may use, powerful beings. But this is our home, and...
Well, thank you. You're very gracious. I fell into your home and you said hello. Thanks for not killing me again.
I invited you into my home. A great many things have surprised me today, and I'm happy to welcome you here. You see, I'm having a bit of a problem. The story upstairs, the murals you're asking about, the story is ongoing, and I'm afraid that we don't know how it ends at this point. I can tell you a little about what happened, but as I've said, we are a bit short on time before
I have a question.
Yes.
Dr. Rhett,
Yes?
is she evil or just stupid?
Evil is not the word I would use, and there is definitely more at play than what you have seen.
I knew it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not my place to say whether people are stupid or not. I think a great deal of the mortal world is stupid, as you say.
But I'm smart because you said so.
Clever is the word I used, I believe.
Clever. Synonyms.
Sure.
They're synonyms.
Smart works too. He
Wow.
kind of chuckles to himself and he says, Wynni, I'd like you to help me figure out... Elwyn.
You can call me Wynni. That's okay.
He kind of smiles and he says, all right, if you agree, I suppose that's only fair. Wynni, I would like you to help me figure out the end to the story on the murals.
Okay. How? I don't even know the current story.
Yes, and while I don't have time to explain that to you now...
Wait a second. If your language is the language of the... Oh, wait. Is celestial the language of the elements?
It is not, but I'm familiar with both.
So why didn't you write in the language of the elements if that's your favorite language?
Celestial is most commonly spoken, and this tomb is dedicated to my mother, whose primary language was Celestial. In fact, Primordial is one that my siblings and I came up with as a way of talking behind her back.
Wow.
Yeah, you may have seen
god
them on the
died.
murals as well.
Okay. Is your mom dead?
You see, that's my problem.
Oh. You
We
don't...
don't know.
Oh. I'm sorry.
When she disappeared, this tomb was created as a means to mourn for myself and my sisters, but there is a lot we still don't know, and a group of foolhardy, determined, and somewhat clever adventurers might be just what we need.
Well, I know just the people.
Do we fall in at this point?
Not yet, actually. Time seems to be going a little bit differently here, as if it's all kind of frozen. This suspended place, as Laura mentioned earlier. And he says, "I need to know if you agree before your friends arrive."
Oh, well, I can't make the decision for us. I'm really little. I'm also very young. Sorry.
He says, "Well, I'd like to give you something."
Okay.
He kind of holds his hand out and says, "Will you give me your hand?"
You seem safe.
Okay.
Stranger danger.
Don't trust strangers.
Well, I know his name. He's not a stranger.
Twyddle's danger sense is tingling.
Danger.
I wish I knew.
Doesn't work
Just
that
kidding.
way.
I'm kidding. That's not how it works. Laura, he grabs Wynni's hand and holds it palm up in his own, and he traces a line across her palm with his finger. And as you watch it, a crack opens up in your palm.
What did you do?
It's a small crack, and it has blue energy, and as you flex, it seems to move with your skin. It does not hurt, but it does shine with a bright light. And he sits back.
And a hand kraken comes out?
Please no. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Cut it off.
Yeah, I don't know how that would be.
That
That's
sounds like an infestation.
the most terrifying monster. Okay.
Hand krakens. Ugh.
He leans back and he smiles at you and he says, "I know you're going to be great." And in that moment, Twyddle
tears
appears
up.
in the room.
Oh,
Okay.
I also
and
teared up.
she tears up. Twyddle, you are presented with this cross-legged man with Wynni standing in front of him, holding her hand out still.
I'm going to raise my eyebrows. And this is a question I have. Because it'd be handy for me to know. Could I change into him?
Yes. I think you could mimic his appearance.
I just wasn't sure, since he's, godlike, if that's an option. I'm not going to right now. But.
I mean, yeah, you can't change into a god, but
What?
you can change into someone who looks like said god.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. So it's like a kind of like a blurry type room, I guess.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it's more just kind of an empty space.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. What's going on?
I turn around and I've got tears rolling down my face. And I say, "Twyddle, look at the cut this man gave me."
Yeah, I'm gonna start twirling my bear trap and be like, "Oh no, not with my baby." Okay, I'm gonna throw it at him.
Okay, he give me an attack roll.
I
Actually,
don't think it'll hurt him. Okay, and I'm not in rage anymore. Wow, that was pathetic. That would be an 8.
he grabs it as it flies at him. And he smiles at you and says, "This is exactly the kind of foolhardiness that I appreciate from you, Twyddle, or should I say, Lasmora? Is that right?"
Yes, Twyddle, for the first time, looks speechless a little bit.
He kind of tosses the end of the bear trap back to you and says, "You're just on time, and I must admit, the way you've arrived here was quite clever. I appreciated your song."
Thank you.
Wow, this is very unlike her.
I know. When I say thank you, I'm going to say that in primordial.
Oh, he raises his eyebrows and he kind of claps his hands and says, "In fact, all 3 of you are going to be great." And at that moment, Merryweather arrives.
So how do I arrive? Because I'm tied to a rope.
This is a very good question. As you're falling, you see this globe before you. And suddenly, you are in this other space. There is no longer, the rope is no longer tied to you. It's as if you've disappeared from the loop that you tied around yourself and appeared in this other
standing.
space.
Right. So I see them, and I run over to them. I go, "My friends!" And I hug them, and then I look over. I'm like, "Whoa, who are you?" And simultaneously look, "Where's my rope? Where are we? You're not dead! I knew you didn't die!"
Okay, so you're hugging both of them, and he kind of laughs to himself, and he says, "I'll give you a moment."
Who are you?
My new
I
friend.
talk fast, I think fast, I can handle a lot at once. Throw it at me.
As I've explained to Wynni, my name is Madaris. You may have heard of me, as I am known in your world, I believe, as the god of earth and air.
Whoa. Who's the god of the sea?
My sister.
Oh, would I know who the god of the sea is?
Go ahead
Probably.
and
Right.
yeah, roll me religion.
Oh, dang. 21.
Yeah, okay. So while you were most familiar with the goddess of the sea, whose name is Julrus, you also are aware enough of the lore and mythology that she had a brother and sister as well who fulfilled other elemental roles within the pantheon.
Whoa. Hey, can I talk to Joris?
He says, you're in my domain now, I'm afraid, but she is familiar with your travels, Knackle.
She knows who I am? Yeah?
Yes, yeah, just as I do, actually.
Wow.
We've
She swoons a little bit.
He says, if you agree to do what I'm asking, I believe you may meet my sisters in due time, perhaps sooner rather than later.
I agree!
Okay, great.
What? Merryweather?
What?
We don't know what it is. You'd less than me.
But I could meet Juris.
We'll just fall down
Hello?
another pit and you'll meet her anyway.
Look, it wasn't an actual pit, it was a doorway to another dimension.
I'm more interested in meeting the goddess of money and
He
gold.
does kind of raise his hand and says, I should clarify that there was an end to that pit. You just all happened to end up here before you could hit it.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't thank me, thank your friends for, their quick thinking, and, Twyddle here for her song, which alerted me that you were here.
Nice.
I'm going to turn for a second time today, animate red.
Okay.
Aw.
I don't know. I'm just gonna like look
Is
at
this
him.
an embarrassed kind of animate red?
Yes.
Okay. Because the first
I'm
one was a
blushing.
rage, so
Yes, no.
I'm just
Oh, no,
clarifying.
she's not
She's
angry.
blushing now.
She's blushing at this time.
Okay. He does kind of laugh and say, would you all like to know what you're agreeing to?
Yes.
Do I have to sign anything?
No, this is not a contractual obligation. This is
An
just, I'm but
honor.
a simple god asking for a favor of 3 adventurers.
I'm but a simple god.
What's the deal?
I was explaining to Wynni before you arrived, but my mother has disappeared many years ago now, so long that most people on the mortal plane have completely forgotten of her existence, to the point that her tomb has been covered by sands of a desert and only been recently rediscovered by a team of archaeologists, some of whom I believe you've met.
He said that he doesn't like to say that people are dumb because we're all kind of dumb, except for us because we're clever. But that also she's not good. So answered that question.
How long has she been here? Millennia?
The archaeologist?
Yes.
No, a day or so.
Dang it.
He says, and I did not say she was evil. I just said there's more to the story.
She's possessed.
Okay.
She's not evil.
Sure.
Something evil is possessing
He says,
her.
would you like to keep putting words in my mouth, or would you like to hear the words I have to share?
Sir, I would never.
I would like to hear those words.
I would never.
Are you gonna try to get fresh with Wynni again?
He says,
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just gave her a gift.
I show them.
Let me
I show them. I
see.
show them.
Whoa! I poke it.
Ah! Oh, actually, it didn't hurt. It's okay.
Yeah, it does not
Whoa.
hurt.
What is it?
I don't know.
I asked to him.
He smiles a bit and says, think of it as a key of sorts. If I'm not mistaken, you've already encountered something similar, correct?
Yeah,
Was that you? Did you send the Kraken after my brother's ship?
we didn't like that one.
We put the ship into the air. You're the god of the air. How could you be mad about that?
I did not do any such thing, and
Oh,
I am
okay.
actually rather concerned about the Kraken myself.
We tried to kill it and eat it.
It didn't like it.
Yeah, I hear you like sushi.
Most definitely.
He kind of smiles and says, I do too. But No, this is a key of sorts, and if I am not mistaken, my siblings and I have come up with it as a possibility to close these cracks. This is not the first to have appeared, and in fact, we're rather concerned about how many have appeared over the continent in this recent week. I don't know what the connection is. I'm not familiar with what is on the other side or why things are coming from them. And I can only intervene so much without throwing off the carefully crafted balance that humanity and the other races have established over the years, over the centuries.
I put my hand with the cut on my head like I'm trying to like go into it.
Okay, that does not work.
I'm confused.
It's not a door, it's a key.
That is a very good point. He
Thank you.
He nods to you and says, and to be honest, we're not sure if it works yet, but Wynni, we'd like your help. And he turns to you, Twyddle, and says, Twyddle, we'd like your help. And Knackle.
You can call me Merryweather. I prefer that.
He smiles, Merryweather. I suppose if I'm going to be working with all of you, it's only fair to be on a preferred name basis.
What's your preferred name?
Mid.
Med?
Mid.
Wow.
Mid.
Mid?
Mid.
Mid.
Like somewhere in the middle with Med. That's a good song.
He laughs and says, only my sisters call me Mid, but...
We're your sisters?
Wow. That was fast.
We're family.
He does kind of keep laughing, but
Merryweather's joking about this.
I know. And he kind of laughs to himself, and he just kind of...
She winks.
He says, I appreciate the eagerness. I'm not sure how my sisters would feel about being replaced.
No.
There's always room in the heart for more.
Let me be clear.
Love.
I really want to be sisters with Julius.
I see. So it's not even about me. I understand.
Well, thank you for letting us not die, but
What's in it for us?
You want money, yes?
And what is it?
Oh, it is investigating. It is being our hands and feet in the mortal realm, the material plane, as we call it here.
Why can't you do that?
As I've said, it does not often go well when gods interfere in the ways of the material plane, and often does not go over well when we just appear to fix things. But this is of a scale that has us somewhat concerned, and if we do need to intervene, we've never encountered something quite like it.
Twyddle looks kind of thoughtful. You're not my usual customer, or who I would expect to see. So I gotta wonder, can you give me something other than gold?
He thinks for a minute and says, what is your asking price, changeling?
I'd like to change the way of the changelings.
He thinks about it for a second and says, I think I understand what you mean.
I nod.
And I can help you with that, if you are willing to help me.
Okay, Twyddle's gonna nod again, and then she's gonna reach out her hand, and then spit in it, and then present it to him to shake.
Yeah, looking very, very bemused, he stands up and spits in his own hand and surprises you somewhat by shaking it back without pause.
Say, most people don't. That is surprising.
And he's smiling the whole time, and he turns to Merryweather and Wynni and says, any other requests while I'm granting favors?
I think Merryweather gets a little nervous, and she kind of starts like wringing her like apron in her hands, and she goes, well, I mean, you're a god. You can do things. You know a lot. Everyone's dumb compared to you, right?
I like to think so.
Well, I just need help looking for someone.
He says, I know who you mean, and I'm more than happy to help you with that along the way as well.
Okay, good.
He turns to Wynni.
Wow, this is a lot of pressure. Can I have a rain check?
He laughs and says, I understand, and I've presented a lot of information to you. If I recall correctly, you weren't even expecting this adventure a week ago, were you?
No.
I know I'm asking a lot, but I trust of anyone to have that key, you're going to do well with it. And, the rest of you...
And one more question.
Yes?
How do we save Keb and Mary? How do we get past the wind? I mean, the mural, you know.
Yes, the, it was a challenge of endurance.
Well, we clearly failed
Yeah,
that.
we didn't endure very long.
Yes. While you did fail my test,
But we endured death!
you did endure the fall, and I'm impressed. And in fact, I believe I can help you. I cannot put you in the next room, as that is my sister's, and I do not touch her things. But I believe I can help you with the dwarf and the halfling who remain in the chamber above.
And can I get my rope back?
He laughs and says, while I'm at it, I'll get you your rope back.
I have a small
Good.
favor.
Thank you.
Oh, another.
You know,
I mean, you seem really generous, so we'll just go till you stop.
I might have broken something, and it was purely on accident. So, could you tell your sister I'm sorry in my own way, and not to smite me?
What did you break?
Yeah.
I might have lightning bolt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I hadn't put two and two together. I think you put two and two together? Is that how?
I had not. Put that together.
We'll have a discussion of sorts, but I think that the fact that you're agreeing to do some investigation for us in the material plane is enough of a consolation that we can fix the statue. He turns to Wynni and says, I understand not knowing what you want yet, but provided what you've agreed here today, I'll be in touch.
She nods emphatically.
And with that, the room fades around you all, the emptiness, and you find yourself standing very suddenly in front of the door, across the pit, across the winds, and Keb and Mary are sitting there looking very, very confused, and Keb kind of tilts his head and frowns and says, I don't, did we die?
You just got teleported!